welcome to another brand new episode here on the Market Gardener on FS25. Why do the cars on this game go to overtake you and then just slam their brakes on? Honestly. Anyway, how are you all doing? Hope you're all having a good day. And it's going as you hope it would. But today, so we've still got some harvesting to do. We've still got the parsnips to harvest. I've harvested the carrots. And obviously in the last episode I harvested the red beets, and I've collected all the boxes, and now we're just taking a break from harvest because I need to get these fields baled, these two fields baled. I was going to bale the sorghum field as well, but I can't really see the swaths in the field, and I'm not too worried about that straw anyway. We'll just take the canola straw and we'll take the wheat straw. The sorghum straw, we will just cultivate that in, and then once I get these two fields baled and collected and sold, then what I want to do is get this tractor onto the cultivator, and then while it's cultivating, we can be harvesting our parsnips. And then by the time this tractor gets finished, we will have, we will be able to get straight on with our autumn drilling. So I want. I'm not too bothered at this moment in time about having canola and things like that. So just wheat at the moment will do, because obviously we're wanting to make bread, and we're wanting to make flour, with our crop, and we can now have 3 fields of wheat, or sort of barley or oats or whatever we want, and we'll be able to produce our flour and then produce our bread in turn. So it's not too bad. The other thing I would like to do as well, at some point, if one comes available and we have the money, I would like to get one of the new Oxbow harvesters and do, if, say for example, it's the spinach one that it's not spinach, is it, James? Yeah, it is spinach, isn't it? Is it spinach? I can't never remember if it's spinach or parsley. It's spinach. Get the spinach harvester, then we can do spinach, and that will be another crop then that we will be able to do in our canning factory. The same with potatoes, but we are going to need a slightly bigger tractor for potatoes. But again, whether we just hire one in at the end of each year, because as well, the plan is that we will buy, or I will buy the Vent 515 that we hired at the beginning of the year in the spring, that pulled our ridger. We'll buy one of them. We'll buy that tractor, because that A was a very good tractor, but it's a bit nearer to the horsepower that we're sort of going to need to start heading towards, because this tractor and the other one, I think this is the biggest one. I think this one's 140, and I think the other one's 138, is it? I think, or this is 138, and that other one's 126. I can't remember which way round it is now, but yeah. So I would like to get one slightly bigger tractor, just so that we can grow our potatoes, but also as well, with the grain production beginning to increase, we are going to need a slightly bigger trailer as well. And there is a big trailer available at the moment in the sale, but this tractor will never pull it. And I use this tractor for most jobs because it is the bigger horsepower tractor of the two that we've got. So that's kind of why I favour this one when we're sort of out in the fields and doing stuff, is just because it has got more power. So yeah, we've lots to do. I think in terms of greenhouses, I think we've probably got somewhere near where we're going to get, I think we should start to look at other areas of the business now. You know, going along, getting our beehives. You know, because any good farm shop sells its own honey. You know, so getting the beehives, getting the chickens, and growing them. Obviously, we're going to need feed for them. So one field a year comes sorghum. You know, because they are eventually going to grow, and eventually they're going to start eating quite a bit, and also as well, naturally they're going to multiply. So, you know, eventually we will need a little bit more feed. But at the moment, we can more than cope with the chicks that we've got. So that's not really an issue. But yeah, so it's just a case of sort of, you know, starting to plan now, and we're also going to need to soon start buying a bigger farm, because we are slowly beginning to outgrow the area that we're on. Although I will say this, that since I realised it was on easy and I've switched to hard, we're not making as much money as fast. So that's a good thing, because, you know, it's kind of slowing down, because I literally, you know, it was like turning on a tap, and I just could not keep up with the flow of how quickly we were sort of getting. I couldn't spend it fast enough. Like, you know, I couldn't reinvest it fast enough, you know, because it was just like literally coming. I mean, you know, we've gone from, so each day, from all the greenhouses that we've got and all the produce that we make at the canning factory, etc., each day we were making just over £102,000. And then we bought those other greenhouses with the apples and the bananas and stuff, and it went up to nearly £150,000 a day. We've now cut that back down to 70,000 a day since we've switched it to hard. So, you know, nearly £100,000 difference, which, you know, it's big. Like, you do notice it. Like, you know, I mean, you would in real life, but even on farming sim, where, you know, sort of the game is designed that you'll be a millionaire by the, you know, by the end of your third. By the end of the third year, you know, if you're sort of frugal with your money. Seen quite a few challenges as well online about 0 to a billion and how fast you can do it just by greenhouses. Literally, no seeds, no sprays. Literally buy greenhouses. Just buy as many. You know, every time you get, you know, enough money, buy another greenhouse. You know, just buy. You know, just cover the map in greenhouses. You'll have £1 billion by the end of the day. Honestly, it's unreal. When I started this save, I genuinely didn't think. You know, I thought it was going to be one of those sort of steady saves where, you know, money was going to be sort of kind of slow to come in, and, you know, we were kind of going to be twiddling our thumbs thinking, yeah, we want to do this, but we just can't earn the money. You know, not on your Nelly was it anything like that. It was like, you know, literally, as soon as we bought like the third or fourth greenhouse and a couple of mushroom greenhouses, it was, and like I say, you know, it sort of helped that we were on easy to make so much money so fast. And that really annoyed me and really frustrated me. And like I said, if I'd have been playing just, you know, just for myself, I would have started again, because it was not, you know, it was not great. But as it's, you know, sort of our YouTube series and different things, you know, I'm sort of kind of like, well, okay, we can't start again, because otherwise, you know, literally we're going to get, you know, 10 episodes of identicalness from the first 10 episodes of this series. But, you know, we can sort of, you know, change it now to hard, which we've done, obviously. And, you know, and we can go from there. And like I say, the money's not going up so fast now. So it does feel a little bit more authentic. Because one of the things that I was thinking when I was doing this was, bugger me, I really wish I had done it when I, you know, when I was physically capable of doing it. If this is how much money you make from greenhouses. But yeah, so anyway, we'll get this baled. We'll get the other one baled. We'll do it. I'll we'll do it in a bit of time lapse, and then I'll come and or we'll go back to the store. We'll get the packer or whatever it's called, and we'll do that. It's going to take a little while to do because we've got to keep driving to the sell point and then back again, and that little baler, little like stacker thing, it only holds I think 14 bales, so it's going to take a little while because we're already at, is that 66 or 86? Can't tell. Unfortunately, with my my cataract problem, I can no longer see the writing down the left-hand side of the screen. I think that says 89. I think that says actually. Yeah, it does it because I can clearly see that says 90. So yeah, so we're already at 90. So it's going to take a while, and the other field's bigger, so you know, you can probably add another sort of 150 on top of that probably. So yeah, we'll switch over to a bit of time lapse and we'll get that done, and then we'll see where we're at. So I'll see you in a minute. There we go. That's the first field finished. We've done very well there. To be honest, actually, that wasn't as bad as what I'd sort of kind of feared it was going to be. That went relatively well. We're getting about 1,200, I think. I worked it out as a rough estimate. Yeah, we're getting about 1,200, I think. But yeah, so not, as I say, it's not going too bad, and we've just got that other field to do now. So get that complete, and we can go back to harvesting our parsnips. Parsnips. I can say the word parsnips. Well, I so I was in the butcher's. The butcher's is literally just over the road from me, so it's like walk out of the front door, and about 2 minutes, well, a minute and a bit later, I'm inside the butcher's. And I was in the butcher's, and one of the local, well, I used to go to school with the lad, and he watches my YouTube channel, and we was in there, and I was ordering me. So the butchers do homemade sandwiches, and I was in there getting a large sandwich, which consisted of hazelnut, cucumber, tomato sauce, and onion. And honestly, you can't beat them. And the price is pretty good as well. I think they're about £3, which, when you consider, you know, although you get more in a Tesco sort of meal deal, or other supermarkets are available, of course. They just don't taste as nice, But for £3, and it's a big, they don't they don't skimp. They proper fill it up, Anyway, I was in the butcher's, and I was getting myself and a sandwich and a sausage roll and a nice cake and that, and because I'm on a diet, as you know, and the diet goes good one day, but then it don't go so good well the next day. It's the in and out diet, I like to call it. Yeah. So anyway, but I was in there, I was getting it, and we'll say one of the lads that I used to go to school with, that watches my videos and watches the channel, obviously, and he said to me, he said, I've been wanting to bump into you for a few weeks now. So I said, oh really? I said, why is that? He said honestly, like, he said, I'll pay you. I said, yeah. He said, I will pay you to say the word vegetables. But he said the proper word, and I was like, I go, what? He goes, yeah, just say vegetable. I can't say the proper word again now. And so I said, why? He said, honestly, mate, he said, the first time I heard that, he said, like, I was just rolling around the floor. He said, like, honestly, me and the missus, he said, like, we just thought it was hilarious. So I said to him, I said, well, just for you then, I said, for old time's sake, I said, don't forget to eat up your vegetables. There's people, sort of members of my family that, watch my videos that go, I never realised you couldn't say that word. It was like, well, I don't go around telling everyone. I said, if I can help it, I don't say the word at all. Same with shoulder. Well, the top of your arm. I can't say that word either. And I have mentioned it when I went to St Bart's. I said, like, there are certain words that I can't say, and I'm not really sure why I can't say them. And they've said that it's to do with my stroke that I had, that it when it affects your speech, which it did mine. I was sort of 4, and I'd kind of learnt to speak, and then I just couldn't talk for about a year and a half. I just couldn't talk at all. It left me paralysed. It left me sort of, as I say, unable to speak. And then intense physiotherapy obviously got me moving again. And intense speech therapy eventually got me to talk again. Although I do remember, I remember bits of it, but I do remember this bit rather well. What have I missed them to? Sort my keys out, because it would appear that I've got round there, but I've missed them too. Oh well, we get them now. And yeah, so as I say, for all the things that they were doing in speech therapy, it ended up being I think I was sort of getting near to about the age of 6, and I really liked as a kid. I proper obsessed with tea, cups of tea, and I burnt my mouth, and it made me scream "ow" like that, and then suddenly that kind of opened the gate, because I hadn't been able to say anything up until that point, and then as I say, I was able then to start making noises. I weren't really necessarily able to do words. I wasn't that advanced. But I was able to do noises, and the speech therapist, well, this according to my mum, said, oh, now that he can do noises, we'll get him speaking. You know, the noises, if that doesn't come, then you can't get them to speak. You know, and they said, like, if you think about a baby, you know, it makes lots of noises and, you know, sort of gargles and stuff like that, and that's them, you know, sort of learning their voice, practicing with their voice box, and eventually they'll start to string words together, and that was what happened. But yeah, no, say it's just left me with, I can't say shoulder, I can't say the top of your arm bit, and I can't say vegetables. As soon as I start to think of those words, I can't say them. Now, if I was just to do it in real quick passing without really thinking about them, I can say the words. It's just when I sort of consciously think about the word that I want to use, I then can't do it. But yeah, it's apparently it's funny to everyone. So I said to him, I said, like, you know, I said, I'm pleased I make you laugh. He said, you do. Honestly, he said, what I want to do is I want to get one of those birthday cards. I was like, yeah. He said, where you can get your voice recorded. He said, I might get the app. I was like, right. He goes, and then I just want you to say that word. He said, and then that can be your next birthday card. He said, because I could do it really posh. Today we're going to learn to teach James to say the proper word for it. And he said, and then and then I can say, like, repeat after me, and then you say vegetables. Oh dear me. But there we go. Anyway, we'll crack on with field number 2. We are getting it done, which is good. We are getting it done, slowly but surely. Once you knock the headlands off, it's not too bad, but it's always the headlands that cause the big issues. Incidentally, kind of, well, it hasn't got anything to do with this series or anything like that. Does anyone know if there is a Massey Ferguson 9S tractor available for FS22? Now, I've looked around everywhere, and I can find small sort of minute videos of Giant saying that it was coming to FS22, and then it never did, and then suddenly that and the New Holland Combine, which was also promised for FS22, ended up in FS25. But does anyone know of a modded 9S tractor, Massey Ferguson? Because I absolutely adore the tractor in this version of the game, FS25. And with the 8S, and I think the FS22 does the 7 and 6S as well, you can have a right proper family of them. So I'd just be interested to say, I have done sort of like all my searches that I normally do, you know, when I'm looking for mods and stuff, and looking for certain bits and pieces. But it sort of kind of yielded no results. But if someone knows of one, you know, that I would be able to download or to have, then I'd be very grateful if you could, you know, sort of point me in the right direction, because as I have looked and I just can't find one. But yeah, as I say, that would be most helpful. We're already full again, crikey. We're already full again. I'll tell you what, to be fair, actually, I know, like, there's a lot there. It's over 100 and... it's 124, I think it was, in that field. You know, well worth doing, though. You know, it's a bit of effort, but a bit of effort, you know, gets rewarded. It's well worth doing it, you know, sort of about 1,000, roughly 1,200. Per load, you know, it soon mounts up, you know, very quickly soon mounts up. So yeah, definitely very much worth doing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to a little bit of time lapse again, just because you don't want to listen to me rabbiting on about rubbish. And then when we get that field done, we'll cut back in, and then we'll probably do a little bit of harvest if there's time within the video, and then we'll obviously leave it there then until next time, and we'll finish the harvest field. But we'll see where we get to in terms of doing this. So I'll see you in a bit. There we go. That's got the bales collected, thank goodness. We'll get this back to the store. We'll get this and the baler sold. Or not sold, because we don't own them, but get them returned, I should say. And then we will crack on with getting the parsnips harvested. So it's a busy episode, and that's why I like it. I do like to be busy on games. You know, I find if I'm not busy, then I tend to sort of not lose interest, but I have to sort of go off for 10 minutes and do something else and then come back to it. But yeah, so I do like it when we're busy, and the Walter series that I do on FS25, check that out. Comes out every Saturday and Sunday, if you haven't done already. as I say, like that series that I do, that's a constantly moving series. You know, we're constantly doing something, and you know, I really enjoy it. This game can get quite monotonous at times. You know, as could farming. I mean, you know, when I worked on a farm and you know, when you're on your tractor day in, day out, you know, for 15 to 18 hours a day, you'd been doing it a few months, and then suddenly it was kind of like I can just remember one night sitting there, and it was about 10, 10:30 in the evening, and I just thought, do you know what, I've had enough of this. I wouldn't mind going off and doing something else for a day or two, you know, and just changing the scenery a little bit. But yeah, that's what it is, you know, when you work on a big farm, you know, as the second one was, and you know, you got, you know, sort of periods of the year, you know, where that was the case, where you were doing the same jobs, you know, sort of day in, day out, and what have you. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, they always say a change is as good as a rest, and you know, the second that you move fields and that you then end up, you know, sort of somewhere else in a different area, you know, you've changed the scenery. You know, you've changed. Oh no, I don't want to repaint it. I want to return it. Good job I noticed that just right at the end. I couldn't work out why it was costing me money to return. And it was like, hang on a minute, I'm going to paint this. No, I don't want to paint it. Right, we'll get back to the farm. We'll get the cultivator on, and then he can get cultivating and get going. But yeah, so as I say, like it can, and farming sim I tend to find gets like that as well. You know that you can, it soon can start to get a little bit monotonous, and you sort of think, you know, change of job would be nice. But as I say, with this series and with the Walter series, you know, I do find that work does come around and move on very quickly, you know, and sometimes it's a bit difficult to keep up with it, especially on the Walter series, not so much on this series, but on the Walter series. But no, I say I do enjoy that series, and I sort of really do enjoy this one. And I've said before about how, you know, just 1950s is honestly, when I first started that, I was like, I was kind of unsure. I knew it was an interesting sort of idea for a save and for a series and stuff like that. But I had my doubts because it was really small equipment on really big fields, and you know, sort of thought, you know, for someone that's got ADHD, that this might be quite hard, but it isn't. You know, strangely enough, I can quite happily on that game sit, you know, going up and down with the plough or the drill or, you know, whatever, for hours and hours and hours, and I'm just enthralled by it. I don't know what it is. You know, it's just kind of, and because of that series, I've suddenly developed a real interest in farming of the past. I never was interested before. I just like, well, that was years ago. You know, we've moved on. You know, let's concentrate on what we got now and move forwards. You know, we don't want to be looking into the past. You know, the past was what got us here. Now we need to use this bit to get us into the future. You know, so that in the future we can look back at this past and say, well, that's what got us here. You know, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, so I was never interested, and then all of a sudden it was kind of like I did that series, and yeah, just my sorry, I had a quick drink. I recognised there was a cough coming, and so I thought if I have a quick drink, I might be able to stop that. But yeah, so as I say, it's really invigorated me to, you know, to learn about the past, learn about why, what happened, when, and where, and you know, all of that sort of stuff. And it's really really enjoyable. All right, let's get the cultivator on. Let's get cultivating. We'll do the wheat. No, we'll do the rape field first, because that's a field out on its own. In terms of, no, we will go to the wheat field first, and go that way. We'll go that way and do it that way round. Eventually, there will be a little bit of method to my madness, but yeah, we'll do it that way round. As I say, looking for a roughly about 200 to 230 horsepower tractor. Can anyone recommend a good tractor in that horsepower range for us to get on this save? Kind of leave that one up to you guys. So see what you think. See whether you can come up. Well, hang on a minute. I'm not doing this, am I? So I just press that really and let him get on with it. Yeah. So as I say, that's kind of what I'm looking for. So we will get the little vent. Because the little vent is ideal for that ridger, the sprayer, and sort of, and we'll have that on row crops as well for planting. But yeah, I'm looking for a sort of 200 to 230 horsepower tractor. You know, whether we buy it or whether you sort of say, well, actually, you know, if you lease this one each year, you know, just for the potatoes, you know, that would be, you know, sort of great, fantastic. You know, then yeah, that would be brilliant. Anyway, let's crack on. Wasn't the best impression of Barry White you've heard in a while, was it? But do you know what? I genuinely, when I first glanced at that belt, I thought they were skeleton bones going along. I just looked down and my head went, why is there skeleton bones going across you? It's like, no, they're parsnips. But, oh dear. I never cease to amaze myself, honestly. But yeah, so, ooh, hello. Ah, it's the harvester that's catching it. Okay. We will, how are we going to do this then? Because I'm not on row crops. Well, we sort of could, well, I don't like doing this, but I ain't really got a lot of choice. But we could do it this way. Should just be enough gap then. Yeah, I don't like doing that, but we'll be alright next time now. It does mean, obviously, that we're going to have a partial breed to do down there, but there we go. We'll soon catch it up and get so as we're right, so not too bad. Anyway, I'm going to flip over to another little bit of time lapse. Just as I said before, you know, I've had a couple of chatty videos and different things, so as I say, if I switch over to a little bit more time lapse, we get a bit more of the video. We'll get a little way in and then we'll leave it there, and then what we'll do is next time when we come back we will finish this field then, but we'll do a few rows in, and then as I say, next time then we'll come back and we'll get the field finished. Hopefully that will be enough room. Oh. Why did I miss that bit? Nobody knows. Sometimes it is just as easy to do this harvest, he says, from this way around, because you can actually see where the two prongs are to lift the crop up. So it's just sometimes as easy to do it this way around, but I'm not going to do it this way around just because it's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. said punch. Right, I'm going to go over to some time lapse. I'll speak to you again in a minute.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.
So there we go. That's got quite a bit of this field done actually. So next time when we come back, we'll finish the field, and we'll be able to then get on with some drilling, because I think he's virtually finished now the cultivating over there. He has finished the cultivating over there. So that's good timing as well. As I say, and then next time we'll get this done. We'll get these boxes collected, and then we will be ready to start our drilling, ready to get our sort of winter planting done, and that'll be us kind of worked up then for the rest of this year on the game, and we can look forward to next year then. And as I say, hopefully next year we're going to be doing quite a bit of developing. We get the bees and the honey and everything working and going and up and running, and one or two other little projects that I'd quite like to do. But as I say, that'll be for next year, as long as everything still, sort of makes good money, which I'm sure it will do. So, yep. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching this episode. I'm going to leave it here. I've really enjoyed having your company, and as I say each and every video, I genuinely am really appreciative of everyone that views these videos of mine and comes to the channel. I really do appreciate it, and yeah, I can't wait to see you again next time. Bye for now.